G'day! In today's video I'm replacing a smashed touch panel on a Lenovo TB-8504F. As you can see, this one is seen better days. So this one's dead flat. And I believe I've previously done work on this one, so hopefully, since it's had previous work, it means it will come out quite easily. But let's see. So looking at the replacement part here, I'm expecting to find a flex connector just sticking up that I can just slot into here. But let's get in and see. So I will expect most of this glass to crack off like that. And this one had been double-sided taped into position, which means it's probably going to be a bit harder to get off compared to B7000. But on the positive, it should be cleaner. There we go, that's lifting. Lifting. There we go. Now, bugger. I will have to take the frame off. So as you can see, there is only a little bit here. So I'm going to have to take the trim out. Oh, there's some glass, I'll get that out. Looking at the back, we are the same brand. A slightly different revision of screen. This one's an AB4, this was an AB2. I don't really know if that makes much difference, if any at all. But let's get into it. So from here, just trying to remember which came out first. If it's the back that comes off, which has got a texture to it. Yes. So I'm kind of pushing it in and twisting. And that is lifting it up. There we go. And we are now in. So from here, just trying to figure out the best plan of attack. So the battery's been lifted up before. Possibly not. So what I'm going to do from here is take this shield off, disconnect the cable, feed it through, connect it to the new screen, and then glue it into place. So with a slightly different design, it could have been a bit easier to repair this one, but it is what it is. That flex connector was a little bit longer. We could potentially not have to take the back off or any of this to get to it. You could still possibly try, but I think the time that I'd spend trying to feed it through to actually do it would be, in the end, this would be the quicker way to just to do it once, do it properly. There we go. This should flick up. Disconnect the battery and move it out of the way. Now I'll use some tweezers on here. And that could flick up. There to there. Flick that forward. And then underneath, then this will be adhesived. And now I'm gonna lightly pull it up. Don't use too much force or you may tear it, but these are normally pretty good to handle. There we go. Now that would be safe to feed that little bit through, like so. And from there, I should be able to connect it to the screen. there should be a little latch on one of these sides. Not sure which side yet. Leave nearest, no. There we go. So with that up, should be able to feed this in. But it's definitely battling me. And the cable's got me slightly confused. There we go. This way. No, it was the original way. This is the oddest connector I've seen in a long time. There we go. Latch down, that's stuck. And then we're going to feed it through there. We'll feed it back through. First, my old favourite. Some frame adhesive. You could also potentially use some red tape. Either way would work okay. So what I'm going to do is just go around the whole perimeter of this, applying a fairly liberal amount. G'day.
Hello, how are you?
Good, yourself? 1 second. There we go, so nearly done. That should be enough. Put the cap back on. Then I'm going to feed this through that bottom section. Actually, I'm going to easier to leave the screen there and go over it instead. Like that. Flip this back around. And just squeeze it down lightly. You have that squeezed down, we should be able to now reconnect the display. Like so. There we go. And usually from there I just massage this back down. So it kind of should kind of reshape itself a little bit. So I tend to start in the middle and push outwards. That should work it down. And next up from here, reinstall the battery. I will need some adhesive for that. So this is just, I just call this stuff red tape, which I find has a very good stick to it. Typically it gets used on smaller stuff, or usually holding batteries in the position. You can use it on frames and stuff like in this, for example. But I just find the glue to have a overall better finish. And it's frankly a bit easier rather than having to stick it down and cut it. You can just put it where you need it. Granted, it does make some re-repairs a bit annoying, but you just got to clean off some glue. So you try not to go too crazy with it. Now, if I can get this to reattach. There we go. Put the battery back in, make sure it's stuck down, put the shield back on. There go. Make sure you do feed it in this corner here first because it dips under. And we're going to proceed to put the screws back in. Now, if you want to, prior to installing and sticking down the screen, probably should mention it before, test out your part, make sure it works prior to going through the whole job and then finding out it doesn't work. That's happened more occasions than I like, where you think you've 100% finished the job, and it turns out you've got to do it 200% because you've got to redo the whole job again because of a dud part. So those occasions certainly suck, but luckily for me they're few and far between. And put these screws back in. Don't have to worry about where they go. They all are the same length, which is one thing I like when companies do that. There we go. We have screen connected, battery installed, connected, shield on, reconnected up here. Let's get that back on there. And then this one's going off to charge. Now, I'm not sure if there's a particular method to reinstalling this, whether or not you start in a certain spot, but it seems to be massaging down just fine. Go. So what do we have here? Well, that's how you install a replacement display on your Lenovo Tab 4 TB-8504F or TB-8504X. I hope this helps you, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye. So just to follow up at the end here, turns out my cable had come loose and I found an actual better way to do it. I'll splice this somewhere into the middle of the video, but if you find that you can't actually get it to display, take a peek down here. It escaped on me. So what we're going to want to do is to try and wiggle this, we'll get this out as far as we can. I find getting the loudspeaker out to be quite challenging. Don't know why that is, but it just doesn't want to leave. There we go. We're out. Lift up. And a thin pair of tweezers. I'm going to push this back. No. Out and twist down. And feed in. There we go. Push that back down. Now we're going to get this back in there. It should be hopefully straightforward-ish. This is requiring a fair bit of force. Now, take that back out and try again. There we go. Back down, feed the cable into here. Strangely, it has escaped a little bit. Now I am slightly pinched over here. Go. Now we should be right to put that back cover back on with a working display rather than a detached display. Anyway, bye.